Hey, I'm upstairs in my office, super clean. Matt is downstairs reading to the kids. And I thought that I would share with you how I'm going to turn an image that I did for Instagram into a print. So I'm on Zoom right now, and I'm going to share my screen. And go down and open this Illustrator file. I use Illustrator for all my artwork because I like the clean lines. And I've just been using Illustrator, so all my stuff's in Illustrator. Okay, so this is a print or an Instagram image and story image that I did of Jamia Wilson. I met her at the Bust Craftacular, and she is an author, and she is the editor-in-chief, I think, of the Women's Feminist Press. I've totally botched that. That's just off the top of my head. But she has a book called Step Into Your Power. And so here's a pin curl girl with her in it. And I'm going to resize it for an art print. So first I'm going to go up to File and create a new file. And I like to change mine to inches, and I like to do 8 inches wide by 10 inches tall. It's a little bit smaller than 8.5 by 11, but when you print it out, it fits on an 8.5 by 11. But then you can frame it in a traditional 8 by 10 frame. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab, it doesn't really matter, I guess I'll grab this one. And I'm just going to cut or copy the whole thing, Command C, and then go back to here and Command V to place it. And as you can see, it's a little bit bigger than my artboard. So I'm going to take the corner and hit Shift, kind of scale this down. And then I'll just take the yellow. Let me blow this up a little bit so you can see it. Oh gosh, see, look at that. Probably what happened is her eye was locked. So I'm going to unlock all. Yep, see that? Grab it again. I'm going to copy it. I'm just going to delete this and repaste it. Again, I'm going to hit Shift to constrain the proportions, or else it's going to do this. We don't want that. So hit Shift. And then I'm going to just select the yellow box and make it a little bit bigger than my artboard, so when it prints out, it will have a bleed on it, and then I can cut around and you won't see any of the white paper. So then I'm going to select that. I'm going to do Command 2 on the Apple, and that will lock this layer so I won't accidentally select it. So then I'm going to select her, and I'm going to Command G it to group it. And I'm just going to figure out what's the best way to put this text in here. I do like it vertically, but then it makes her super small. So let me just play around and see if I think I can maybe crop her off a little bit. And then, I don't know, maybe these can go in front of her hair. Let's see. Just put this down. I'm going to select all those and right click and go to Arrange, bring to front. And look at it. I don't know, what do you think? I'm not sure I love it. Let's select all the text, scale it down a little bit so this box doesn't go off the side. That's a version. I don't love it. So I'm going to go here to my artboard, and I am just going to drag this and copy and create a new artboard. So over here, I can move this artboard over to give me a little bit room. And then I need to go and unlock my background layer. I'm going to copy all this. I'm going to paste it onto this new artboard and kind of play with a different version of it. So, oops, see what I did? Command Z that. Okay, so let's try to put this into 2 lines and see what happens. And put it above her head, or maybe here in the corner. What we don't need is we don't need all of her torso. So I'm just going to bring her down and maybe bring her over a little bit. And then maybe this whole line could just go in one line. Let's see, step into your power. Maybe we'll see that. And then I'm just going to hit the space bar and kind of move her name over here to the side. I'm going to line it up with the R. And then I'm going to hit Option and the up key, double click, triple click, hit Option and the up key, and that will change your lighting up and down. And if you're just new to Illustrator or any sort of Adobe products, you really should use your, try to learn your key commands. So I'm going to just take this blue bar. It looks like I need to move the spacing down so there's more room for this brown bar. And I wanted to have a different color bar just because the saying is in one color, but then her name, I wanted to be in a different color. So you knew it was almost like a different thought. All right, well, so it gives us a lot of negative space here that I don't love. I'm going to move that over and Command to it to lock it. And then I'm going to move her over and make her big and maybe fill up this negative space here. See how I did that? And then I want to arrange her and bring her to the front. So if we zoom in on that, we still see step into your power. We still see her name. And we still see her image, which I like. So it doesn't look like this is quite lined up. So I'm going to move that over. And then I think I will make her name just a little bit smaller. So, and these are just, I just spaced this. I could select all of it and go up here and do a paragraph right justified. That'd probably be a better way to do this. So then I'll just move this around. Okay, that's different. I'm just going to go back to this one now that I have taken a little bit of a break and see how big I can get that. And then maybe I just make her name smaller over here. So I do like to go back and forth and kind of work on a design for a bit and then go work on a different design and then come back. And then I have fresh eyes. So let's grab her and bring her to the front and see what we're missing. Okay, to me, this image looks more interesting to me than just having the words up here. So what I've got to do now is go back and let's see what happens when I just make these just a little bit smaller and move the leading up. And move it over here. So then I'm going to rearrange or reline up these blue boxes. And see how this is too close? I need to make the spacing, the letting between the lines bigger so I can have, I like to see spaces in between here. So now I made this one a little bit shorter. So I'm going to delete this top one and I'm going to hit down the shift and the option key and just duplicate that shape. So they're all exactly the same size box. Shift and option. You can see my arrow has 2 arrows now. That means it's duplicating. And then I can just stretch this out and stretch this in. And then I'll move this brown box up and make it a little bit smaller. It doesn't have to be the same size as the boxes above because it is smaller. It's like a feeling that we want to just tighten this letting a little bit. So I just tightened it and I'm going to move these boxes up by just hitting the shift or the arrow key up. All right, step into your power. Okay, so I like this one better. I'm just going to select this one and delete it. I'll unlock that. I'm going to select this artboard tool and just delete it. So I just have the one. What you should do is save as quite a bit. So I'm going to title this print and then I'm going to put the size on it, 8 by 10. So I know when I look back at it. Okay. So next what I like to do is if I have a solid color background, it doesn't look very good printed because sometimes the printers, there'll be lines and weird banding when it's just one solid color. So what I've been doing lately is just creating like a gradient. And so I'm going to just copy this hex color and let's see here. So here, let me just show you how I do it. And I probably do it wrong, but I select this gradient up here and I don't want it black, but what I can do is double click on this black and then go to here. I'm just showing you that I did this totally wrong, but I just typed in the hex color and you can choose up here what color system you want, RGB or CMYK. But I'm in CMYK, so it'll print fine. And then this one, I will put that web save color in again. And then I'll double click and I'll probably like add a little bit of orange. And then I also like to edit the angle of it. So let's try like what does 23 degrees look like? And it gets you a little more dimension. I feel like that's really big. So put that in the corner. Move this a little bit. So now I've got some more dimension, which will be easier to print. And I like that angle of 23. Let's just see what 45 looks like. Yeah, I think I like 23 better. Another thing you can do is go to this like multicolor gradient, and then look, there's like you can add more colors. So if I click on here, double click and add my yellow, and then here click that, add my yellow, but then go in and change it to a little bit more orange, probably not that much. And then if I wanted a third color down here, like right here, this is black. I don't want that. So I'm just gonna get rid of it. And then, you know, I can move this around. And so that gives me something a little bit interesting where I have the blues are kind of melding into each other, but that's a little hard to see. So let's stay in this color wheel. I'm gonna double click this. I'm gonna put in my yellow again. And then let's see if it is just a little bit more red. And here I can play around, like maybe I want it to be a little bit of pink, which I love pink. Or purple. I love bright colors. So actually I think that's kind of cool. Got some orange. Some yellow. And then some of this kind of purple and a pink. And if I bring it down here, more of the orange comes down, which is kind of nice. See how I can move that? And if I wanted to, I can click here and add another orange. So there we go. It goes from yellow to orange to kind of rose pink. But when I do that, I don't really like this red as much with this color palette. So let's see here. I'm going to just play around with, let's see, I'm going to click the gradient again. I always lose my colors. Okay, yeah, here's my gradient. So I'm going to edit the gradient. And then I'm going to click here, go here and get this color. It's D12590. And then I'm going to go in here. Oh gosh, not do that. Select this color and I'm going to go to object or select same fill color. So now it's selected her turtleneck. I should have selected her like torso and her headband, but it looks like it deselected her torso. So there, I reselected it. I hit the shift and clicked on it, and I'm going to paste in the purple color. So now I want to change that to purple. Now it adds a little bit of color to it. I like bright colors. This is working well for me, but I feel like this needs to be just a little bit darker. So I'm going to double click on that and just bring this down with a little bit more black in it. And then I'll copy that hex color. Oops, no, I hate it when that happens. And paste it here. All right, so then I'm noticing that her hair is completely like going at an angle. So I'm gonna bring some of these back. That might have happened because of my text. So if you use this kind of white arrow, you can just select different points or specific points instead of the whole line. And then you can just move it all over. And as you can see here, I've got this like bigger shape to fill in some of the, oh gosh. Looks like the bottom of this line should go here. I've got this bigger shape, and then that kind of helps me just fill in some space. And because her hair is dark, you can't really tell. But I'm going to go back. You can see how crazy this is. I did this illustration one morning, sort of fast. So I can go in and clean this up. If you see me doing that, I'm just hitting Command Z. Whoa, well, that's fine. Just a few more. What I could also do is take some of these that are just crazy and just delete them. And then I could just ungroup these and just take some of these and then hit that Option Shift and just kind of copy them over. So that's looking better. And then hit my A key and just bring down some of these points so it doesn't overlap her face. So then you notice little things like there's a hole there. And of course you want some texture outside of this background. So bring some of these little strands out. Okay. Now I'm looking at it and I feel like this color isn't really great. Maybe I should do it a blue. So let me try maybe like a darker blue and maybe a blue that has just a little bit more magenta in it. So it's a little bit more purple. Or maybe I just do black. Which I like that. And since this is a print, I'll probably just use her full name instead of her Instagram handle. If you want to do like an M dash, this is longer, it's Option Shift dash. So that's a little trick. And then let's just see what this looks like if these were longer and coming out from behind her head. Or I'm Command Z-ing that. What's it look like if I right justify these? Move these over. How did this get so far underneath here? Is that always like that? I can select all of these boxes and then deselect my text and then hit the Align tool and make sure they're all lined up. This is set to align to artboard. So I'm going to Command Z that and hit align to section. And then they should all be completely lined up. So then I'll select my text and then just move it over a little bit. And maybe make it a hair smaller. Looks like there might be a little space here. So that looks good. Move this down. Move this over. All right. Let's see what this looks like off. I don't know, did that get better with or without? All right, and now I'm gonna select all of this again and maybe move it up a little bit. So you can see the power. Or what if into and you are on the same line? Yeah. Or step and into might be on the same line. I like that. This power looks like it's further away from the your, and I don't know why that is. So I'm going to select all, and I'm going to go to my leading, my character leading. This font right here is 72, and it says my leading's about 78. So I'm going to select this all and hit 78, and that should make it all the same. Okay. I like that. Let's just select it all again and maybe move it down just a little bit more so it does go underneath right here. And then just for fun to play around, what happens if I change these boxes from blue to black? And then I'll maybe change that one to like a darker gray. That feels kind of cool to me. All right, let me just hit save. And let's move this logo over a little bit. All right, step into your power. So I'm going to save this as a JPEG or a PDF and post it onto my website for sale. I will ask Jamia which nonprofit or fund she'd like me to donate the proceeds to. So all the proceeds from this print will go to a nonprofit or charity of her choice. So this should be up in my store for about a week, and then I'll pull it down and do another one for you. So thanks for watching. Bye.